Hello, everybody. Welcome. I see we've got a couple people rolling in. I'm going to wait a couple minutes or a minute or two here as we're waiting for more people to roll in. The way this platform is set up, I have to launch the ability for everyone to join, so I'll wait. Do me a favor. I've got the chat panel here open. I'm going to say hello in there. Do me a favor and write hello back, and I'd love to see where some of you guys are coming from around the country. Hopefully you guys got that in a little chat area. So you go ahead and respond in there. I said hello and welcome, and yeah, I'd love to see where some of you guys are coming from. Maybe some places that I visited in my past. I love traveling around the country. Nobody in there? I see 12 of you are on. I'm going to give it about another minute or so to allow more participants to join, and then we will get rolling. St. Charles, Illinois, Mike, welcome. Topeka, Kansas, Tom, welcome. Christine, thank you for coming. Hello. Where are you from, Christine? California. Okay, I'm California. Nice. We're headquartered in Solana Beach, which is right near San Diego, and I'm an LA guy, so born and raised in LA. Milwaukee, good to have you. Never been to Milwaukee, but I've been to Green Bay. Probably the most fun football experience of my life going to a Packer game. Sugar Land, Texas. My buddy played for one of their the minor league baseball team there. Still lives there, I think. He's a baseball coach now. But yeah, I've heard of Sugar Land. Never gotten a chance to go over there. Go Skeeters. That's right, the Skeeters. Absolutely, Sam. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Well, looks like we've got a decent amount of people rolling in. Again, now that you guys have all seen this chat area there, I'm going to actually use the chat area for questions as well. There's a question and answer selection area, but I'd rather go through this here. It's easier for me to see and read and continue to go through the webinar. Who's my buddy? His name's Delwyn Young, D-Y. And he's got a wife, Lacey, and they've got a new little baby girl. So that's the athlete that played for them, and yeah, maybe you know who they are. All right, I'm going to get rolling here. So today, thank you all for joining me today on our webinar. You guys, probably most of you guys are parents of athletes that have the premium plan, and the goal today is to really teach you about premium and what happens when an athlete and a parent have the premium plan, and how it opens up the doors to lots of things within our network, and how it also helps their coach really use FieldLevel Premium to the maximum as well. Again, as I go through this, and I'll talk about this in a minute, you guys can start writing your questions down in that chat area, and I'll get to them at the end of the webinar. And I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, and so we can all get on with our day. But again, thank you so much for joining. Just a quick introduction about me. Obviously, I work for FieldLevel, or else I wouldn't be doing this webinar. But I'm also a high school football coach. I've been doing that for about 12 years. Actually worked in schools full-time, teaching, doing different marketing jobs within private schools. But I've coached from anything from, inner city public schools all the way through high-end private schools. I've been doing it for a long time. I travel the country doing camps and clinics, and so I'm in it with you guys. I am a coach. I'm with the kids every day. I've actually got practice in about an hour and a half, and yeah, so I love getting to talk to our users, whether it's our coaches, our parents, our athletes, whatever the case may be. I love doing it. So let's jump into the webinar deck here. Give me just a second. So today the title of our webinar is, excuse me as I move this around a little bit here. The title of our webinar today is 4 Ways to Maximize Your Exposure Using FieldLevel Premium. We'll talk about just some broad strokes of FieldLevel, just in case some of you weren't 100% sure what FieldLevel is, or you heard about it, your son or daughter told you about it, the coach told you about it, but you'd like to learn more. I'm going to do that for you. We'll talk about maximizing exposure. That's what our presentation is mainly about. And then I'll answer any questions you guys have. So FieldLevel is the athletic network where high school coaches and club coaches connect with college coaches around the country to discover, create, and pursue opportunities at the next level. As I mentioned already, I'm a high school football coach, and I remember the day when I learned about FieldLevel. I was at a high school with a lot of athletes that I really felt could go on and play at the college level, but they weren't major Division I college athletes, so they weren't getting highly recruited. But I knew, as a former small college football player, I played at the Division III level in a place called Waynesburg, Pennsylvania at Waynesburg University. If any of you guys know that school, I'd be very impressed. And when I was in my process, or when I was also helping my athletes in the process, it was so much work trying to put together spreadsheets and make phone calls and write out emails and trying to find different schools that'd be a good fit for my athletes. And then I learned about FieldLevel, where I could connect with coaches organically and helpfully get my athletes to find more opportunities to play at that next level. It immediately impacted my program. Not only did it impact the lives of the young people that I coached because they had opportunities to play in college, but it just helped our program overall, our school overall, and showing that our athletes and our coaches were not just working for the Division I athlete, because that doesn't take as much work when a high-level Division I athlete gets recruited. They're already seen. But when those athletes that need the help, that the coach needs the help, has a tool to do that, to really, truly impact that young person's life more than they already have. So I remember using it as a huge help, and I'm looking forward to telling you guys more about it and how it's going to be able to help your athletes. So some quick broad strokes of our network. We've got 11 sports that we serve: baseball, softball, football, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's volleyball. Men's volleyball is brand new. Men's and women's soccer, and then men's and women's lacrosse. These numbers over here on the right-hand side are a little bit old, but bear with me. It is 61,000 plus teams, 90,000 plus coaches, 340,000 plus athletes, and 60,000 or 58,000 plus commitments. I mean, gosh, today we've already had, well over 200 to 300 soccer programs sign up with us today in one of our marketing pushes. So we are constantly generating more numbers, and our network is constantly growing. And the bigger our network, the more opportunities for your athletes. So how does FieldLevel work? We have a couple user bases we'll talk about. First, our first user group is our college coaches. They sign up, and not just a head coach, but their, pardon me, but their assistant coaches as well. A little information about that. College coaches are typically tasked to either recruit a position group or a geographic location. So those coaches go on, they sign up their staff. Those coaches will then connect with high school and club coaches, the coaches that you're dealing with on a daily basis, nationwide, to start building out their network. From there, college coaches are able to search for athletes using our search filter. They're able to post recruiting needs, meaning they're able to tell the network that they've accumulated over time exactly what their program is looking for in that recruiting class, a position, what that position, skill set is necessary, maybe grades or GPA or a SAT score that is needed to get into that school academically. Whatever it is, they can put all that information in there to really give high school and club coaches that information that they can give them back a really qualified lead or qualified promotion. Then they're also able to get promotions in general from the high school and club coach, meaning a high school and club coach is able to just send them recommendations of athletes that they believe can play for their program. Next is a high school and club coach. They will sign up, they will add their assistants as well. They connect with college coaches from all the divisions, Division I all the way down to junior college. They will connect with those coaches nationwide. They will go ahead and add athletes. So many of your athletes are obviously going to be on a coach's roster. They'll certify them, and by doing that, that means they will project what level they can play at. I'm sure some of you will have some questions about that later. And then they'll also certify that athlete, meaning they're going to write an evaluation about that athlete, and it's a private evaluation for only the college coaches to see, so they can be very detailed and very honest about that athlete. But we've never seen a negative certification, or else I haven't. I've seen all coaches always writing really positive things about their athletes to help them out. So they're able to then do that. They collaborate with you, the parents, the athletes, in finding the right college fit or the right kinds of colleges for them to promote their athletes to. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then they get to communicate. They use our messaging feature in our platform where they're able to communicate with the athletes, communicate with college coaches, all within our site or on our app, and really keep that communication line open. And then lastly, you guys, athletes and parents, you guys have signed up. You've connected with a coach reference, hopefully. If you haven't, let me know. We'll get that fixed. And what's great about FieldLevel is you're able to add yourself to multiple rosters. That means many of you are probably parents of athletes that have that are on a club program and also playing for their high school team. So you're able to be part of two different or multiple, not more than two if you like, programs to make sure that you are getting the most exposure possible. You'll build your profile and your target school list. We'll talk a little bit about target school list later. You're able to track your college activity, meaning what college coaches are doing in concerns to your profile. Are they looking at it? Are they looking at film? Are they able to, are they following you? Things of that nature. And that's a big part of FieldLevel Premium. We'll touch on that later. And then again, communication. Like I talked about with the college coaches and the high school coaches, you're able to use the messaging feature to communicate with your high school coach. And also when college coaches are contacting your athletes, you can use that messaging feature as well to be in communication with them. So a little bit about Premium, which you guys already have. And by the way, if you don't have Premium, that's all right. This would be a great opportunity for you to learn more about Premium. So we have the free model, tons of things and functionality that come with free, but Premium is really where things open up. You open up the door not only for yourself as parents and athletes, but also for the coach to help serve your athlete in helping them find college opportunities. And then some information we'll talk about today in no specific order is seeing who's following you. And these are things that open up with FieldLevel Premium. Access to all colleges. You're able to find the right fit, and then letters of interest. This is one of our newer features. So what I'll do going forward is as we get into the tips and ways that FieldLevel Premium can really help you in maximizing exposure, is I'm going to go through a slide deck kind of like this, where I'll go through some bullet points, and then from there I'm going to jump into our site and show you some things. We're not going to be live in the site. These are all screen grabs, and I'll talk you through all of those. So first thing up is leveraging your recommendations. You're able to use FieldLevel Premium to get your match strength and recommendations to find a good college fit. You're able to build your list of target schools using high school matching, our high school matching or high matching college programs. Sorry for the fumble there. Again, I'll read that one more time to make it clear. Build your list of target schools using high matching college programs. And then college coaches can see when you're targeting their programs as well. Let's jump in. So right now we are on a athletes page that has the free platform, okay, so the free service. Again, a lot of functionality, but a lot of things aren't open information for you. So we're on the matching page here, the college matching page. As you can see here, the word colleges is highlighted, and that's the tab we're in. And this athlete has put information in, and you're able to use that left side there to put information in of what you're looking for in a college. And then we'll provide you what matches up with what you've put in to make things easier for you to start adding to your target school list. And I'll show you a target school list in a little bit here. But right now they put information in, and as you can see where the little red circle is, match strength, where we would typically have, if you have premium, excellent match, high match, low match, medium match. That match area is locked. So you can see that pretty clearly there. So of course we all want to know what would be a great fit for my athlete. If I'm a coach, and which I am, what's a great school that would be a great fit for the athletes that I'm coaching? You as parents, you want to know what's a great fit for your son or daughter. This is a great area to start. And so this is what happens for free, and this is what happens with premium. So now you're able to see that there is an excellent match, a high match, and you're able to see these schools, and some of them are schools that maybe you've never heard of before. I've been doing this a long time, both playing, coaching, and working at FieldLevel. I learn about a new school literally every single day. And so you're able to use our matching algorithm, our matching information here to help build out your target school list. Let's say, and I'm assuming many of you that are on the West Coast, you've heard of Long Beach State. Let's say you're on the East Coast and you never have heard of Long Beach State, and that's a high or an excellent match for your athlete. Now you can look at Long Beach State, go online, check them out, see if it's a good fit, talk to your coach, say, hey coach, is Long Beach State a good fit for my athlete? If it is, please make sure that you promote my son or daughter to them. So a great tool for you guys to start opening up your minds on different opportunities around the country. The next is our recommendations, our recommendations area. As you can see here, this is very generic. And what I liken this to is Netflix. I'm sure if I asked you all for a raise of hands, Who watches Netflix? We all probably raise our hands and all have something that we like watching on there. But much like Netflix, when you watch a show, when I watch Friends, or if I watch Stranger Things, something like that, Netflix, and don't judge me on my TV taste. Netflix will then provide you a list of TV shows and movies that you might be interested in watching because you've watched those shows. And we do something similar like that, along with information we have about you, that you've put in about your athlete, what the coach has put in about the athlete and their projections, and then also just what's happened locally. Different, and we have different, this is just one screen grab, but there's multiple areas here that provide information and recommendations based on different criteria. So this one's looking for athletes like Helen is the demo page that I have here, or top college matches for Helen. Maybe it'll provide recommendations of schools that we recommend to you because these are the schools that a lot of the athletes in your area have gone to in the past, things of that nature. So here again is a very generic looking page here. This is for the free, this is when an athlete is using our free platform. And as you can see here, there's a Division II school in New Hampshire. That would be a good recommendation. That's an excellent match. And I have a little circle there around a very generic NCAA Division II logo. And of course, what do we all want to know? Well, which school is this? Which school is an excellent match for me in New Hampshire? We opened that up for FieldLevel Premium members, and it'll look something just like this. So now you can see that they're high matches, excellent matches, and it tells you the school of which is the high match. Now, again, just like the college research page, you're able to see these recommendations. Coaches are able to see these recommendations. They're able to send it to their athlete in the messaging feature. Let them know, hey, I saw the school in the recommendations page. I looked into it, or I know of this program. I think it's a great fit for you. Dig in yourself, unpack it, make sure that you think it's a great fit. And if you do, throw that on your target school list, and I'll start promoting you to that school. And then next is coaches are able to see, and what I'm doing right now is I'm on a college coaches page, and the page that I'm on is their target school list, or their targeting list. And they're able to filter down by athletes in the country, all over the country, that are targeting their program. And so coaches are able to see, using our platform, when your athlete has got their school on their target school list. So they can see that by just going to that targeting their school tab there. So next up is use of coaches to get in front of more coaches. So obviously we believe at FieldLevel, and this is a very, very, very core thing at FieldLevel. Hopefully you guys are all learning something today regarding our premium plan. But if you learn anything today, it's that FieldLevel hangs our hat on us being a network. We are not a service. We never advocate for athletes. I'm not calling coaches and saying, hey, Johnny at Hoover High School is a great football player. You should recruit him. We have provided a network where coaches connect. We know from all of our companies' playing experience, coaching experience, research, and just the knowledge base of the recruiting landscape overall, is that college coaches want to hear from high school and club coaches the most. They want to know about the athlete from them. They trust them. They are kind of in this together. They are, in essence, they're peers with each other. They want to hear from their peers about the athletes that they're going to possibly recruit. And we know that that is where college coaches go to first. And so we keep the high school and club coach at the center. So with that said, moving into this is being able to use FieldLevel Premium to give now your coach the full open door to promote to anybody in the network. So right now, for a free, let's say I'm a FieldLevel member. I've got, I think, roughly 500 college football connections in my network. And there's roughly 10,000 college football coaches in our network. So if I have an athlete or I have a handful of athletes that I want to promote, I can only promote those athletes to the 500 coaches that I'm connected to, unless they have FieldLevel Premium. And if they have FieldLevel Premium, they're now opening the door. That athlete has FieldLevel Premium account. That opens the door for the coach to help that one athlete with that premium account to be promoted to anybody in the country. So now I'll show this in the website now. This is a free, I'm now on a promoting coaches account, or a high school coach, a club coach account. And that club or high school coach is going to promote, which is basically recommending their athlete to colleges around the country, right? And they get to go in here and they get to start selecting coaches of who they'd like to send this recommendation or this promotion to. And so as a free coach, you go in here and we're under My Connections, and I have it circled there in a red circle. And so you're able to go ahead and click on the different coaches that you'd like, or the coach would like to send these promotions to. So I want to send it to Whitney over at Adams State, and Nathan at Colorado State University, and Colton over at Western State Colorado University. And that's all part of the free platform, which is great. So they're able to do that. But now, if I want to really open the door for this athlete to get them more opportunities and more eyeballs on their athlete, they would then want to go to the all network coaches. And as you can see here, still using a pro, or still trying to promote a free athlete, you go in here and sure, those ad buttons are there, but those are all people in their network already. But in the total network for that sport, and they want to contact Greg Clark here at Colorado State University Pueblo, where there's an arrow on it, you can see there's a little ad button and it's white. If a coach were to click on that button to try to promote that athlete to that coach, they would get an information thing that would pop up and say, you're unable to do this, you're not connected to this coach, but if your athlete has FieldLevel Premium, you'll be able to promote him or her to not only this coach, but to any coach in the network. So huge addition there. And I'm going to go ahead and show what this page, this all network page looks like with a premium plan now. And now you can see every single coach here is ad. It's green, it's blue button, add. You can add, and your coach can promote athletes to anybody in the country. And obviously, being able to really open that door for the coach to promote your son or daughter is really going to give them an opportunity to have more eyeballs on their film, on their profile, and ultimately in the recruiting game. Next up is tip 3. And this is a new feature for us, is reach out to colleges to express interest. So you can write a letter of interest to colleges in your target school list, and I think it's a little bit complicated, but I'll explain it the best that I possibly can. Set yourself apart from other recruits and show you're serious. Do research to show colleges you know what you're talking about, and then have your coaches promote you to schools that you feature yourself to. So now I'm going to go to a target school list. And this is where I'm going to try and explain this as clearly as possible. And again, if you have questions, no worries. Towards the end, go ahead and start writing that into the chat box area. So we're on a target school page right now. And we recommend, by the way, that you would have at least 20 target schools. It really helps. I mean, as we've all, in our younger lives, in our younger days, and I know I'm about 20 years out of high school now. I'm definitely dating myself. But when we were all in high school, we all had different schools that we had as dream schools, whether it was academic, athletic, whatever the case may be. But we change our minds. We find out that this school is cold, or this school is far, or they don't have my major, or they're not a good program, or the coach got fired, or the coach changed and moved to another program or something like that. And so we built this target school list where you can move it up and down. And so you're able to do that on this. But again, this is a screen grab, so I'm not able to play around with it, like it's live in sight. So right now we've got 3 colleges on here for our example. And with our letter of interest, and what our letter of interest really does is helps the college coach know that not only does the high school and club coach believe that this athlete can play for them and advocates for them and sells them, but then the college coach gets to know that the athlete truly wants to go there, and they're able to read it by reading these letters of interest. So you're able to get letters of interest by going to your target school list page. And the 3 little dots here and where the little menu drops down underneath it, and you can say, and it says write letter of interest there with that red arrow. So you're able to click into there, and you can start writing your letter of interest, which is going to look something like this. But I'm going to get back to that in a second. On your target school list, you can also see if a school is following you, which is that green little square there, follows you. And then if you've already written a letter of interest to that university or to that program, there's also a little blue bar there that says you've expressed interest, and you can go ahead and view the letter if you'd like. Now, the rule on letters of interest that gets a little confusing for people. You get originally, when you have FieldLevel Premium, you get an original 3 letters of interest. So let's use this as an example. If your athlete has 3 letters of interest, and Westmont College, University of California, and University of Pacific are all on this list here, and your athlete writes a letter, because these are his or her top 3 schools, writes a letter to each one of these 3 schools, that's great. You get your 3 letters, you wrote your 3 letters, you used up your 3 letters. Now, how do you get some of them back? Well, if a school that you write a letter of interest to, in turn follows the athlete, you get that letter back. You get to write another letter. So if in this situation right here, those 3 schools have all had letters written to them, one of them has now followed them, that athlete gets another letter to write to a 4th school, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that clears up that question that I'm assuming some of you have, but if you have more questions, please feel free to ask. So now I'm going to show you the letter of interest itself. So like I said, college coaches, they want to hear from the high school and club coach. All right, great. The high school club coach recommends him or her. I believe what they have to say. I watched the film. I looked at their profile. They look like a great athlete for me to start recruiting. Now, does this athlete actually want to play for me as well? So the coach believes in him, but does the athlete actually want to come here? And this is where the opportunity opens up to write this letter. And the letter answers 2 very core, very simple, but very important questions. Why do you want to play for the school in that program? And why do you want to live in that area geographically? So this really helps out coaches in all over the country. I'm from LA. I'm from a big city. I ended up going to college and playing football at a town that was very small. I'm sure those coaches, and personally, I wanted a change of scenery, and I wanted to go to a small town and check out what that kind of lifestyle was like. But those coaches probably wanted to know, well, is this kid from a big town ready to come to a small town? Is an athlete from a cold weather city ready to go to a city where it's really humid? Was a kid from San Diego ready to go to Wisconsin where it's cold? And all those kinds of information and things that they want to know about to make sure that athlete's going to be a good fit in not only the program, but also in that geographic location. These are the kinds of questions they want to know so that they can feel even more comfortable pursuing that athlete in recruitment. And then also, I'm on a page now, I'm on a college page where, as you can see on the left-hand side, it's there's a bar there that kind of highlights it. It's called Promotion Inbox. I am in a page here now where a college coach gets to go ahead and start looking at all the promotions they've been sent from high school and club coaches. And as you can see with that little red button there, attached letter from athletes. So this means a coach is going to come to their page of promotions. That means, again, all these kids have been promoted to them, recommended to them, and they can see something that pops out at them right away. Oh, not only does Coach James Mendoza here believe that Jasmine Barrios can play for me, but this athlete has taken the time to write a letter about why they want to play for my program. That's going to make that coach at the college level that much more interested to take a look at that athlete and start putting that athlete at the top of their recruiting list. Let's take a look what this looks like. So this is now, so I went from, imagine that I clicked on this promotion here. Now I'm in this promotion page. That first paragraph there is an area where the coach has gotten to write something about the athlete. And then underneath that is an area where they can click a link to their profile. And it also shows a little green box there with a little movie camera. That means that there's video on the profile, which, by the way, all coaches want to see video. You need to add video to your athlete's profile and their timeline. And then that big blue box, that would be the place where that coach would be able to then go and start reading that athlete's letter of interest. And then lastly, we'll talk about today on our 4 ways to maximize exposure using FieldLevel Premium is with Premium, you're able to see detailed activity, unlike athletes that are just using our free plan. So start doing research on colleges that are viewing your information. You're able to turn looks into follows by adding to your target school list and writing letters of interest. And then you can turn looks into follows by getting promoted by your coaches. So right now I am in an activity page that every athlete has. And as you can see here, there's multiple boxes. And the one that I have in orange and that we're on is profile views. So there's all activities, search appearances, profile views are big, highlight views are big. Profile follows are probably the biggest stat on there that you want to make sure you're constantly getting more coaches following the athlete. But as you can see here, there is activity. I mean, there's so much activity happening for this athlete, but it's very generic. The information is generic. So right now we can see that a Division II school in Colorado has looked at her profile. A Division III school in New Jersey has looked at her profile. An NAIA school in Indiana has looked at her profile. But like we talked about when it came to college matches or college recommendations, who the heck is looking? We want to know, not only as coaches, but we want to know as parents, we want to know as kids, right, and athletes, who's looking at me? And I bet if you ask your athletes, would you like to have the ability, would you pay some money to be able to see if anybody randomly looks at your Instagram page and who it is? I guarantee you they would all say yes. They'd all love to see who's checking them out. And it's the same thing here with FieldLevel Premium. So here's the free page here, and now here is our premium page of the same thing. So you're able to now see exactly who's looking. As you can see here on the left-hand side, those logos open up, the school name opens up. And what this does is this allows the athletes and parents and their coaches at the college, at the high school and the club level to see who's looking, when they're looking, how often they're looking, what they're looking at. Are they watching their film? Are they just on their profile? Are they following them? These can be schools that you've never heard of that may not be on your target school list. These may be schools that have just found you through search. They may be schools that your coach recommended you to that are now interested in you because they've been recommended. All of those things gives you information that's extremely valuable. Or the coach, on my end as a coach, I go into these pages and I see that a school is looking at my athlete multiple times a day or a week. I'm going to go ahead now as a coach, and this is what happens with other coaches as well. They're going to go start making proactive, movement towards the college program and say, hey, I've seen you looking at my athlete a couple times in the last week. What can I do to make this progress happen faster, get you in contact with my athlete? What do you want to know about him or her so I can help this connection and help the recruiting process happen faster? So very, very important, and arguably the most impactful thing that happens with FieldLevel Premium. And then just some quick stats about FieldLevel Premium. On average, throughout our sports, an athlete that uses our premium plan as opposed to our free plan gets up to almost 7 times more follows on their page and on their profile. They get almost 5 times more activity, meaning recruitment activity. That means these coaches are actively contacting athletes, discussing opportunities with them at their school, and then ultimately kids that are using FieldLevel Premium have an opportunity to have 4 times more of a chance of committing using FieldLevel Premium. So obviously, our platform is great for everybody. If people are using it for free, we've seen a lot of success with it. But really, when you use premium, it is just night and day the additional impact that has on a athlete and on their coach that they also provide premium for. So that is my spiel for today. I'm going to jump over here back to the chat area, and real quick, I want you guys to see my page here. By the way, that's me and my quarterback from last year's championship program. Super proud of that kid. And my name, Jason French, my fancy title, Director of Community Development. And then there's my email address, my phone number. That phone number is able to be contacted anytime. Whether I pick it up or not is another story, but you can call or text it. And then we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please follow us. We are constantly updating our social media platforms, and we're increasing what we do on there to really get more of our user base, more information when it comes to our platform and the exciting news happening with FieldLevel. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start taking questions, and if you guys have them, that would be great. Go ahead and throw that into the chat area, please, so I can I would like to keep this information deck on here instead of going to the question and answer area. Oh, good question, Sam. Can college coaches see the order of your target schools, or just that they are a target, or they are listed on the target colleges? Colleges can only see that your athlete is targeting that school. They cannot see where in the ranking they are. Good question. Who's next? I have either done a fantastic job of explaining this, and that means there's no questions, or you guys are shy. All right, here we go, another one. Bill. Hey, Bill. Yeah, I saw that you said that you weren't able to get all the webinar in. Yeah, we can find a way to, I'll connect with you And or you can go ahead and call or email me there and remind me, and I'll get you some information. We can either do a one-on-one demo, answer any questions you have, or we can find a way to get you this webinar video as well. Todd, you're asking about activity rankings. You know what? I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, so I don't want to give false information. Please, again, go ahead and take my information down, my email and phone number, and we will get that answered quickly. As far as ranking, how is ranking based? I guess ranking, I'm a little confused on what you guys are considering in the ranking portion, or what you guys are speaking about with ranking. Go ahead and if you can, be a little more descriptive on that so I can answer you. Okay, Sam, what do coaches see when you appear in search? So coaches are able to go into a search filter. They can break that down by what part of the country they're looking for, what division that the athlete is projected at, their grad class, their position, grades, SAT scores, some sports, height, weight, things of that nature. So they're able to do that, break that down, whittle it down, and then have a search results. From there, if they like what they see, they'll go ahead and look at your information. But the best thing to do is have your coach, your high school and club coach, promoting you to the schools that you have in your target school list, or schools in general, for you to be looked at. Again, we're very coach-centered, high school and club coach-centered. That's the best impact that happens when you're promoted, is when you get the most activity. Bill, yeah, you can add in the athletes. You're able to add the SAT, ACT, and GPA in the athletic honors and achievements. You can go ahead and throw in their academic achievements as well if you'd like. We don't have an area to plug in academic achievements by hand, but you can put that in the athletic honors as well. I think it would be a good idea. But that's actually good feedback as a place where maybe we can add a place for kids to show off their academic achievements as well. Great question, Mike. Is there a recommendation on how much video or statistics that should be posted in an athlete's profile? Coaches love watching film, all of us, whether you're high school coaches and we're evaluating an upcoming opponent, or a college coach who is evaluating an opportunity to recruit an athlete. They want to see film, and they want to see a progression of film. They want to see, an athlete starting at a certain spot and then improving as they go on. So adding as much film as possible is a great idea. I don't think there's anything, there's no such thing as too much film. So go ahead and add that in there. You can also add stats in the timeline. We're working on adding maybe an opportunity of placing somewhere in our site where you can have an organized spot to put stats. But for now, you can put that in your timeline. Sam, another question about the letters of interest. If you send 3 letters of interest and no one follows you, are you no longer able to send additional letters of interest? In theory, yes, but you can also go ahead and delete those letters. So after a certain time, those coaches aren't following you. Okay, go in there, delete the letters, and you can get those 3 back. Good question. Steph B, when you click on a school, it shows how many interested athletes per graduating year. Is that how many students have them as targets, or how many athletes, or how athletes coaches are interested in? What I think you're asking there is that when you look at that, does it mean how many athletes are targeting them? And that is, the answer is yes. All right, any other questions? Today was a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you who may have not gotten your question answered, or I asked you individually to go ahead and contact me, please take down my information and we'll go ahead and get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with me and I can get you that answer. So again, thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day and an awesome weekend. Thanks so much, everybody.